repeat, repeat, repeat again. This is the fundamental methodology of Kung Fu. And in fact, that's the fundamental methodology of life. You want to be good at basketball? Shoot that hoop all the time. You want to be good at drawing? Keep working on your illustrations. Yeah, you can get hyped up from a movie or a viral Instagram video, but the real secret is not there. It's the dragon scroll. It lies within.
So we are in London at the moment to meet with Matt Jane, aka the White Dragon, and the last time we were up here, he kind of blew my mind a little bit around Shaolin. So we're coming back to have a chat, and potentially we're going to shoot a documentary today, but potentially sort of have my mind opened up to the idea of going out to China and finding out the truth. How's it going, bro? You all right?
Good.
Nice to see you again.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. And hello. Are we rolling?
Yeah. We are. That's it, straight into it. Yes, sir. What does your day look like typically? I need as much B-roll as possible is fantastic. So training, all that kind of stuff's fantastic, but...
Yeah, cool. So my day starts early in the morning.
Yeah.
6:30 I wake up. I get my son up, ready for school. And while he's getting ready, I'm just on my bike. At the moment, we're watching The Walking Dead.
Okay.
So that's our morning routine. He's eating breakfast. I'm on my bike, editing some videos, watching Walking Dead, getting set for a school run. I drop him either here or at Monster Gym, depending on where I'm going. And he walks to school. So then I just get to work in the gym, and my routine at the gym is everyone hates cardio. I love cardio because I love to edit, right? So I'm editing. I put a lot of content out with you guys, and it takes a lot of editing and time. People don't realize how difficult it is. You might see a 1 minute video, but it takes hours sometimes to put something together. So I just jump on the cardio machine and I'm just there, just editing.
Impressive, man.
Literally, believe it or not, I do that for like 2 hours straight.
Oh,
so
wow,
okay. I was there 8:30 till 10:30, just non-stop. Few toilet breaks. So I have my aqua, my water. I drink a lot of water to help me stay shredded. So yeah, toilet breaks, but I'm just there editing away. I normally get through, I could maybe show you guys a sneak peek. I normally get through like maybe 6 videos.
Wow, okay.
So whatever content I've been shooting. And if I don't have content, I just go to my favorites and I'm like, oh yeah, snap, that's a fire video. Whatever I'm kind of vibing in that moment. The social media world is kind of strange. Like, I feel that you have to be consistent, but be consistent without being consistent. You know?
I know what you're saying.
So I'm never trying to repeat my content or make it kind of pattern. Instead, I'm just looking for inspiration in the moment. It might be to do with the weather. It might be another video I've seen and it just brings a thought to mind. Might be someone like Bruce Lee's birthday. I'm just like, oh, fire. Let me recreate that. And then I get a lot of ideas as well. I'll be like, I got some crazy ideas. The way I deal with hate is just by making fun, comical videos. You know? So I've been getting some hate recently. I think I mentioned in the last interview from a guy who goes by the name of Shifu Brown. And man, you know, this is definitely the best time to be alive. And, you know, we have apps like Face Swap. So I'm working on a video. I'm working on a video, which is crazy because it was just Bruce Lee's birthday. So I was doing a lot of research and video studying of his birthday. And, you know, I know his books and movies inside out. One of his movies, Where the Dragon, he has the double nunchucks and he's just killing it. And in that movie, I'm not sure if you know, so Li Xiaolong, the reason he's called the Dragon is because his name is Li Xiaolong.
Right,
his name is Little Dragon. So he's called Long. And we spoke about this on our last meet. Shifu, Lao Shi, teacher, and Ge, meaning brother. So actually in The Way of the Dragon, he plays a Chinese man who's come to Italy and he's with a Chinese community, friends or family. And they call him, as I said in our discussion, brother. So they call him Long, Dragon, Long, Ge. And as I told you, everyone calls me brother. As I go by Long, my name is Long Ge. So I have the same sound of name.
Right,
So in this scene, there's a punk who is bullying the guys at the restaurant, you know, a thug who's trying to take them for their money, and Bruce Lee comes along from China to help almost as a bodyguard. And the scene is he goes into his office and completely demolishes everyone, and then finally gets to the boss and sits him down, and he starts talking to him but in Chinese. Yeah. But then his kind of girlfriend leans over and says, "Longer," that's his name, says, "Longer, this guy doesn't speak Chinese." And it's just fascinating. And, you know, I'm very open about this and I don't really care how people perceive it. But a lot of the hate I get from some of these individuals who claim to maybe be Shaolin or whatnot, they don't speak Chinese. So like, that's very fitting for me. So it's kind of me, like this guy's talking to me, and then I'm talking back to him in Chinese. Obviously I'm fluent in Chinese, but then my son will be there and he'll mime the words, which is "longer." He doesn't speak Chinese. In Chinese, like "longer," 他不会讲中文. So literally I'll just mime out that video, and I will act out the part of him, but using images and AI face swap, and you'll see it.
That sounds good, man. So yeah, I get that.
This morning, so I was on the treadmill and I saw that video. It's all pieces to the puzzle, you know. I had one video with my wife doing something similar. Like the action is when Bruce Lee does this. It's very famous. He goes like, "You listen to me, don't do it, otherwise I'll kill you." Like that's the expression, you know. So like, and we did a video with me and my wife and my son doing that, and my wife was telling my son off. But when I started editing it and I was watching the video, it gave me new ideas. So that's kind of what my morning is like. Should we continue talking here?
Let's walk through, man. Let's walk through. So, you guys know how much I love Huel. This is the best introduction into Huel, in my opinion. It's their protein bundle, which makes a great Christmas gift. Huel have just sent me one of these, and I want to show you exactly what's in it. 8 bottles of the ready to drink in every single flavor. This is my absolute favorite. You get one of their standard shakers, Huel protein, and Huel Black Edition, my absolute favorite. 40 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and slow release carbs to give everything that you need to get on with your day. Huel are doing exclusive offers right now. So if you check out the top pinned comment and use the link in the description, you can get exclusive offers from discounts to free t-shirts, free shakers. And if you use their subscription service, you get 10% off every single order. So go to the link down below. Thank you, Huel, for supporting this video. Do you watch Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda is one of my favorite movies. And the main theme of it, which I definitely would have mentioned, but I'll mention again, is the Dragon Scroll. And the Dragon Warrior has to get the Dragon Scroll. But when he finally gets it, and I have a Dragon Scroll right there, when he finally gets the Dragon Scroll, we'll go ahead and
have a look,
get the Dragon Scroll out. Because this is the secret. Okay, this holds the secrets to Kung Fu. Do you know what the secrets are?
I think I do.
Do you guys know what the secrets are? So this holds the secrets to Kung Fu, and the Dragon Warrior is the chosen one who gets to unlock the secrets. But obviously the bad guy in the movie, who is Tai Lung, and any other villain, they're trying to get the scroll because they're greedy. They want the secrets, you know. But actually all it is when you finally unlock the secrets of the Dragon Scroll, you know, it's a magical moment. The scrolls passed down for thousands of years is nothing. It's literally nothing. It is a mirror. And the metaphor here is simply that all of the answers that you're looking for are within. So yeah, Kung Fu Panda is playing a lot. And I take a lot of inspiration from, you know, modern movies, old movies, and apply that to myself, my journey. And I use that for motivation and inspiration to carry me through each day, you know, because obviously training intensely, I mean, living life for some can be quite challenging. I believe that it's, as I used the words before, it's an experience. And how we experience life is actually entirely up to us. Some people probably think I'm childish, which is strange because the general concept is never grow up. You know, never grow old. So we never want to grow old, but simultaneously, if we maintain our childlike abilities, we're labeled childish. So it's kind of difficult to win in a world where there's lots of contradictions. But
no, I completely agree.
That's playing all of the time. But getting back to the story, so yeah, from the cardio workout, I head over to their little chamber and I do a little core workout. I do hanging core, plank core, incorporating my iron finger training. I do handstands and horse stance training, the basic fundamentals, kind of the fundamentals of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic spot upstairs, and I really want to take you there because the spot, and this is important, you know, people ask me these questions and I'm very honest. Like, how do I maintain motivation? How do I reach the levels I reach? How do I maintain my physique? Well, you know, it's very simple for me, and I utilize a lot of modern concepts and traditional concepts. But in this case, there's a mirror there in the gym, and it's beautiful lighting. And just, you know, I'm pretty hot, and I strip down, and I'm training. Seeing myself, just like with a dragon scroll, is motivation. That reminds you of your goals. I'm not really one to check my weight. Like, obviously I'm one to watch my diet, but I use my physique as a reference. So I like to be 80 kg, but let's say I was 85, I wouldn't feel like I'm overweight if I look good.
If you, yeah.
So it's based on what I look like. I take a lot of pride in looking at myself and thinking, okay, am I slipping? Do I need to refocus? Is my training good? Is my diet good? Is something going wrong? So that's quite motivational. And then of course, I use those opportunities to get content and videos which I share with my followers, and that inspires and motivates them. So it's kind of a win-win. And then I normally come here, just like how it's about lunchtime right now. So I come here and I start getting set for my day, start doing some administration work here, things that I can't do on my phone. I'll do upstairs in the office on the computer. I get my lunch set, which I'm not sure how long you guys are going to be here this evening, until this evening. So I'm very basic. So I will eat lots of the same thing constantly throughout the day. But this evening, my son is coming a little bit later on after school. You'll see him meet one of his Kung Fu brothers, one of my students, and we're going to get to training.
Wicked.
And we have dinner together. So I make Chinese noodles, but I would normally have noodles now as well. But in the case of you filming both, I can make my power up oats. I call it everything I name and title, so I feel good, you know. It's the power up oats.
I love that, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna have a bowl of power up oats shortly.
Cool.
And you can film how that goes. So yeah, that's kind of next couple hours, just admin work, temple work. Actually, there's some electrical issues. One of the plugs is not working.
Right.
Investigate that. Just maintenance work here at the temple, checking everything out. That's pretty much it. I can show you, you know, like and my mind is, I like to be free, formless, shapeless. So, you know, like I can show you some of the edits from the last couple days, in particular from today. So the one that I was just talking about, we might as well look at.
What do you edit through?
CapCut.
Yeah.
Simple. Everything. Like, that's why I'm not sure of my point if I managed to grasp it the last time we was talking. But when I said everything makes sense and like social media just fell into my head. For me, as a video, I can label myself as a videographer. I love to film. I love to edit. I love to put content out. Obviously through the path of a martial artist, but it's the creative part that really inspires me. So having a phone is just magical, because, you know, back in the day we had the camcorder, you had the VHS, and you had to put it across, and it was very challenging and difficult and expensive. It wasn't so accessible. So having your phone in the palm of your hands,
the friction's been removed, man. It's amazing.
Face swap, for my edit, and I've tested it, man. It is going to be banging. I can't wait. So yeah. That one, obviously, when I was there, I knew I was going to create it. But my content is crazy. Like, I have content that I haven't put out from years ago. It's piling up. So yeah, but I wanted to do that one. Just
on that in particular, one of the things that I wanted to shoot for this piece, but then also, you know, you said about going to China. You know, a lot of our conversation last time was about demystifying a lot of things. And I want to try and bring, like, what is the reality of it, and talk a little bit on the fly today about that. So,
hell yeah.
You know, especially because you're talking about being in the gym for hours. Like, a lot of the people are going to see the magic that you put out on Instagram and think maybe it's chi, or but you know, a lot of that is you're training for hours to do this kind of stuff. It's not. There is a magic in it, but it's
there is a magic in it. And talking about China, this guy is now my friend. And again, linking everything. My monk name is Yan Wu. If you remember, and his name is Yan Wu.
Right. Okay.
And he's a lot older than me, but his hometown is my wife's hometown.
Oh wow. Okay.
So now we're friends.
Yeah.
And, I actually got the opportunity to meet him this year, and we did a TV piece. And man, he is legit.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is one of the like, this is serious.
Yeah.
Breaking sticks, I could break a stick on your abs right now, no problem. This dude, I was punching him in the throat.
Oh, you should. I think you might have shown me a clip of it. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Man, crazy. And if you come to China, we'll meet this guy. Yeah, he is legendary to me. But he only does this stuff.
Yeah.
And that is the 10,000 hours. So he dedicates to doing this madness. So it's not like he's reached this level and it's a show that he does. Like, this is his passion, his love. He's one of the only people I know who's vegetarian. He has his own temple, so he no longer lives in Shaolin Monastery. His temple is in a place called Zhumadian, which is where my wife is from.
Right. Okay.
And it just happens that he's there.
Yeah.
And it happens he has the same name as me, so we really clicked.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, chi power. I mean, we spoke a lot about this the last time, and the 10,000 hours was your question. And I mean, the 10,000 hours here, and you can see there's a difference anyway with what I'm doing. I'm breaking it on the side of the neck, directly on the throat. That's going to take somewhat of those 10,000 hours.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's a different level of training.
Yeah.
It's not just mere conditioning. So remember, any man, like, you stand at 100 kg. You're strong.
Yeah.
You know, these sticks, you can break them.
So like, you can break it on my arm, like legs.
You may get a little bruise if you haven't done it before, but as a man who's literally experienced life and has been doing athletics and gym, any man can do this sort of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
This sort of stuff is actually, and again, I have no problem saying it because I feel like I'm a performer, I'm a creative. It's metaphors, like Kung Fu Panda. These are metaphors for me. So when I'm putting content out like this, obviously it's provocative as well, and I love that. So it creates question. Oh, this is fake. Of course, it's real. It's a stick. It's just being hit and it breaks. There's no magic to this, but for me, it's the way in which people react. Oh my God, this guy has real chi. No, he doesn't have chi. Oh, he's white, it's fake. And that's where the content can grow, and it stimulates conversation, and it's very fun and entertaining to engage. Like, I don't take the judgment when people say, oh, it's fake, or you're not real, you couldn't relate, because I'm doing it not for those purposes.
I completely agree. So when I see your content, it's refreshing because it comes from that angle. I think where the issue is where people are manipulating it. So it's like they'll break the stick and they'll say that there is some magic to it and use that to exploit.
They use that to exploit because these are the luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. That those are the marketing tricks of the trade. Like, it's like, hold on, I could break a stick, and then everyone's going to go crazy on the gram, and I'm going to get lots of attention. I'm going to be invited to do X, Y, and Z talks, and literally I can go and talk about this mythology, and I'm going to be labeled legendary in the moment. You know, I'm sure, like Uri Geller, Michael Jackson's friend with a spoon, and he used to move the yellow pages. Like, he's found to be a fraud in the future, and then there's documentaries about a lot of these people will be pulled out later because it's a trend. You know, this is all trending. Shaolin is very trendy from the 90s. We can already see it fading out. But as far as the chi goes, I'm very good with my words. So the description would be like this, and I'm not reading. It would go, Qigong is a profound form of Kung Fu that requires both spiritual and physical training. Through breathing techniques and systematic movements, one can learn to channel their chi to specific parts of the body. When done correctly, any part of the body can become as hard as iron. You know, these are statements which are are like, wow. You know, as a little kid watching and hearing these type of things, that's what you want. And then you go and do it, like I'm doing it here with the iron throat, and there's some part of it where you realize, hold on, this isn't special powers and I'm channeling energy to my arm, but for me, that didn't knock my confidence. It wasn't like, oh my God, this isn't real. This isn't as deep as I wanted it to be. This isn't. Qigong actually inspired me. It inspired me and made me understand these are mere metaphors, these are legends. And something maybe we didn't talk about, which we should talk about, and is very interesting to me. Superheroes, we spoke briefly about it. Superheroes are a very important part of our growth. And for me and you, it was more for boys.
Yeah.
But as you know, things develop and gender equality is here. Now it's for girls too. You can be Supergirl, you can be Spider Woman, Spider Girl. It's not just one-sided, right? And in China, they don't have that. So remember, when the superheroes is a Western idea.
Yeah.
In China, they have myth and legend of kung fu.
Yeah.
So in the same way we have Superman and he can fly, and we all want to fly. David Blaine, one of the most famous magicians, his most famous thing was him levitating, because every man wants to fly. Why? Because Superman can fly, Goku can fly. In China, it's a little bit different. We've just seen it on the PS5, Wukong, the new game, the Dark Myth or whatever it's called. I don't play, but the myth of Wukong, the legend of the Monkey King. They have these legendary martial art figures. So if you've seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and the old Wu-Tang movies, they can run on treetops. Some of them can almost fly. So the legend of Kung Fu in China is their superhero.
Yeah.
You know, so children would watch that and want to fly, like how maybe me and you wanted to fly. We wanted to be Spider-Man and Superman.
Yeah.
These guys would watch and want to have chi.
That makes sense.
I feel like the translation has been lost. Almost like Alien Nation came, saw a Superman movie, took it home, and then thought, oh, this is real.
This is what humans do. Yeah.
There's a Superman who can fly.
Yeah.
No, this is ideas. These are stories.
The Greeks use the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's methodology. It's not real.
Yeah.
So the more I the deeper I went, and the more I realized that it wasn't necessarily not fake, but it wasn't as real as perhaps a lot of people are making it sound. To me, the more interesting it became, because I started to realize where the focus should be. Yeah. And the focus should be on the 10,000 hours. It should be on the push-ups. It should be on the horse starts. It should be on the things that are boring to do, because it's those things. And it's, again, another statement. And I'm very good at these. Repeat again. Yeah. This is the fundamental methodology of Kung Fu. And in fact, that's the fundamental methodology of life. You want to be good at basketball? Shoot that hoop all the time. You want to be good at drawing? Keep working on your illustrations. Yeah. You want to be good at the piano? You got to keep doing it. Yeah, you can get hyped up from a movie or a viral Instagram video, but the real secret is not there. It's the dragon scroll. It lies within.
This is a sad thing, I think, where, you know, the magic is in the monotonous, the boring, the constant repetitiveness. And I think when someone sees you're like a manifestation of all that work you put in.
I appreciate
it. But then people are like, well, if somebody's selling that, like, let's say you were to be malicious with it, and you says, oh, there's a shortcut, it's chi, it's this, it's this. People are going to listen to you, they're going to use that. And
that is, for me, that is not the purpose of life, but one of the challenges of life as an individual, which we all experience, is that's the devil. From whatever religious that's the devil's voice creeping in, and whether or not you choose to listen to that is your choice. But a lot of people will, and you know, then the flip side of it, there's going to be people like me who will defend my own honor, and in turn it's going to make you look bad. You know? And that's your problem. That's because you listen to the devil, you know. So it's important to have that level of pride and self-honor and self-respect, all of the concepts of Kung Fu, all of the concepts of the Greeks, of just life, you know, the principles and morals we should follow. Be respectful, be a man of discipline, show and give what you expect, you know, give what you expect and expect what you've given. But a lot of people, because of marketing,
expect what you're given, I like that.
They flip it. You know, and they see the cheat code, and that's what it is. They're exploiting, and normally they're exploiting for one reason and one reason only, which is to monetize off of it. And the crazy thing is, and I must have said this one because I love this one, but if I didn't, here we go. Everyone wants to catch the butterfly, you know, the beautiful butterfly. You cannot catch it. You'll spend years just chasing. the secret is if you just sit back and build a beautiful garden, guess what will happen? Thousands of butterflies will come flocking. You know, you will never need to catch. You never need to be there trying to grasp money. So I've never been money hungry, but I've always had what I could say is a lot of money. I'm not rich, but I always have more than enough because I'm constantly working, whether it's my temple, whether it's my physical self, whether it's my Instagram, whatever I do, I'm putting a lot of focus into it. And that pays off. Of course, there's cheat codes, but the cheat codes, the funny thing about the cheat codes, it's like a game. And that's where the phrase comes from. Use the cheat code. Well, that's only going to get you to the destination, right? I complete the game. And then how are you going to feel? Empty. You know, you can cheat the system and break an iron bar and then sell a whole bunch of workshops and teach students fake Qigong and then not really get any results from them. And they won't look good. They won't feel good. You won't look good. You won't feel good. It's only going to lead to devastation in the end, which is a form of, you know, it's what we all experience. It's a form of self-suffering. You know, in my opinion, suffering doesn't even exist. It's self.
No, I agree with that completely.
And people do this all the time. And where does that come from? It comes from, let me just sweep the dust under the couch. Only in the days to come, in the months to come, eventually there's so much build up that it becomes overwhelming. And when it becomes overwhelming, that's where we have stress. And actually that's self-impacted. You know, no one told us to do that. Whereas if you steady and slow is the way we grow. If you just simply take pride in tidying up properly and take pride in doing your push-ups properly, the thousands of repetitions and hours will eventually come to light. You know, and it takes time. It takes time.
There's no shortcuts. That's it. Exactly.
And why would you want there to be shortcuts? I don't understand the idea of it wanting to be quick. That's a marketing tool. It's a marketing tool that we see in the world, which is so strange because we all know the principles and life is a journey, and we all say, it's not about the destination. But as soon as we see a YouTube video pop up where it's like, we could get this result, we could get this, we get hooked. And I'm not entirely sure why. You know, like I get accused all of the time for taking steroids. And I mean, if you're in the game of bodybuilding and you'll clearly know that I couldn't be on steroids for the amount of time I train and effort I put in. If I went on steroids, I would be the definition of a monster, which is what you see bodybuilders do. But what we see is they're doing it with purpose. Then we see the normal man nowadays taking steroids. And they don't even look as good as
that's a really good example of that.
To get quick results.
The shortcut.
But the shortcut doesn't exist because you can take steroids and guess what? It won't actually give you the results.
You still got to work out. You still got to
work out. The core fundamental is the working out. It's like diet. You know, diet is an essential part, but it's not the part. You know, like if you want to be slim, you know, cut your calories way back. But if you're not working out and stimulating the muscle, you can look shredded, but you'll be skinny. You know, so you've got to find balance between understanding the science that has been proven for thousands of years. This isn't new knowledge that I'm bringing or someone's bringing and saying, look, if you do this, you do that. But that's what people want. They want to see the new knowledge. This guy has the dragon scroll, but I'm here to tell you, and remind myself that the dragon scroll is merely a mirror. And the answers that you're looking for are always within, never on the outside. So if anyone's ever trying to sell you something, your first question has to be, all right, how can I actually use this? So I'm a guy, you know, and you've seen upstairs, I'm happy with Nike trainers. They cost quite a lot, but guess what? They're comfortable. They get the job done. And I just said, I spend 2 hours on a treadmill. I don't want to be wearing cheap shoes, which are going to be bad for my ankles. So when I buy this, and when I buy this, £2,000 worth of technology, that's a hell of a lot of money. But I'm not investing in the idea that it's a good product. I know that it can be used.
Very important,
opposed to a lot of people just buying things because they want it. You know, children with iPhones, and they don't do anything apart from play games. Like you don't need a £2,000 iPhone to play those games. But there's this desire. You know, we might have spoke about this one is called how do we deal with the question, I want happiness, and the happiness can be replaced with anything. I want strength. I want iPhone, right? It can be, the way you deal with it is, well, first you remove the I. So the I is the ego. You know, everything's about me. You know, well, remove that. You're left with want. happiness, want happiness, and the want is the desire. So then you take away the desire, just take that away, and what you're left with is happiness. So it's like, I want to be strong. Well, take away the ego. It's not about you, it's the desire to be strong. And then instead of desiring to be strong, take away the desire, just go to the gym and don't have that constant, oh, I want to get stronger. Just do the reps.
Yeah.
Guess what you'll be left with? Strength.
Yeah.
Guess what you'll be left with? Happiness. Like, it's so simple, but it's us who often complicate it.
The new year is approaching, and as always, Mulligan Brothers is doing its 2025 sale. So if you put the code in on the website, you can get buy one, get one free across the whole range, including the Not a Journal and the Memento Mori poster, an interactive poster that you fill in every single week, and it shows you how much life you've lived and potentially how much you've got left. Then somewhere along there is a square that will be my last square. It might have even been the square that I filled in last week, and I promise you that fills you with the most motivation to make your life mean something and live with purpose. And the Not a Journal is a journal for just getting stuff done. I know so many of you have loved it, and that's why we've included it in the buy one get one free with the link below. While stocks last. Once all the journals are gone, that is it, guys. As always, each year we do sell out, so make sure you get your orders in very quick. By purchasing something from the website, you're helping support us going into 2025 to be able to make even more incredible documentaries.
Yeah, there's a ton of edits there, you know, like loads. Yeah, there's too many to show you.
But yeah, I mean, the idea of staying creative, I think, is so important. Like you say, childish is like it's a negative word. No, it's a fantastic word.
Well, this is the magic of not the lost art, but what I would call the modern time of creativity in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So now Hollywood are just banging out movies, you know, and you've got big countries and companies in China just slamming movies out. But originally, videography and creativity, you know, we're talking about Tom and Jerry, we're talking about the Looney Tunes, the old school classic movies. What made Hollywood powerful wasn't the simple fact that they were able to do these CGI mad movies. It was the creativity and the ideas that they were bringing to life. And I mean, movies like Disney movies like Hook, for example, classic. And if you haven't seen it, Christmas movie for you guys, man, like I can watch that on repeat. And you know, it's all about what happens to Peter Pan is he grows old, he forgets who he is, and with that, it's giving me goosebumps. With that, he forgets how to fly. You know, he forgets who he is, and in order to regain his passion, I'm smiling again because it's so magical in my mind. In order to regain his passion, he has to become childish. So you know, they have a feast, but there's no food, and he's like, what is this? But then they have to use their imagination, and then suddenly they have a food fight with imaginary food, and slowly he gets his childlike abilities back, and then he can start to fly, and then of course he fights the bad guy Hook, and it becomes quite a magical movie in that sense. But it's just, those are the movies and things that I grew up on that inspired me and stayed with me the most. You know, it's not always just the fact that I went and lived at the Shaolin monastery that I learned a lot. I've been a very see, I'm just fully loaded too much. I've been on a journey for a long time, and perhaps this could be something, if you're interested in talking about, I did say we could talk about it more in the future, is my upbringing, my beginnings. So actually, I just made a video, and it was, you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. And it was just a transitional video. But thinking today about what we would talk about is, and this might answer your question about chi, and it might answer your question about why do people do that? Because obviously it's exploitation and using stereotype and religion for self-benefit. But then it goes deeper than that. And you've got to ask the question, it's very psychological. You've got to ask the question, why are people doing this? Like, aside from making money, like there's lots of ways to make money. So why are people drawn to the cheat codes? Why? And I'm not sure if I have the answers, and this is not me trying to say that I have the answers, but like with the NBA, they often say that, you know, if you haven't come from struggle, then it's very unlikely you're going to make it, because when you've come from that poverty, where that is your only surviving chance to play ball, Like, so it's not like you can go to college and you have like a backup plan. Like, this is the plan. And if this plan fails, then life could potentially be over. And that drive gives you motivation. That's being born in the darkness.
Yeah.
So for me, and we can get further into it. Remember, I was born into domestic violence. So the first 2 years of my life, from birth until I was 2 years old, I was held hostage in a bathtub with my mom. And, you know, I was the product of rape. We were constantly being abused, both of us. And it was, when you listen to my mom talk, it was, how did she make it through? Well, it was me. It was her baby. It was having to protect her son that got her through, gave her the strength to not kill herself, gave her the strength to eventually run away. And for me, obviously in the moment, I didn't know what was going on. Well, I did, but I mean, like, remembering back, I would have known what was happening. But obviously I did know what was happening. And just like a puppy, a dog is very protective. My mom constantly reminds me when we talk how protective of her I was. So even as a baby, that gave us this compassion with each other, where we knew that we were experiencing something extremely devastating, violent, but simultaneously we gave each other power that allowed us to make it through that struggle. And I believe, and when I talk to my mom about just how I am, and I talk about some difficulties I have with my son and parenting, and difficulties I have with students, and we talk a lot about exploitation. And she's in a different industry, but there's similar things that happen, and we talk on a very high level of why these things happen. And we talk about me, and she believes, and we've come to somewhat of a conclusion that it was some of the things that I experienced as a very young individual that gave me the fundamental strengths which we now see in my life today. And although those things weren't always obvious to others, the higher up I get in my life, the more obvious it becomes that there's a difference. And that difference is the only thing I can pinpoint, is the fact that I came from that struggle. And that's why I say I was, you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. And for me, that statement from Bane, from Batman, is quite powerful, because in that essence, that's what it was. I was born into darkness. I was born into abuse. I was born into violence. I was born into a world which a lot of people are born into. And guess what? A lot of them die. Like domestic violence, gender-based violence. This happens a lot still today. And that's one of the things my mom is battling. She made it out. And that's why it's her mission through her platforms to educate and change the world. And I was part of that. I was very much a byproduct of domestic violence. So I feel that darkness perhaps is giving me more of a focus towards the light. Not to sound egotistical, but that's where my drive is. I find it, and I answered this question with you and many people over many years, I don't find life hard. Like going for 2 hours on the treadmill, like I take you maybe, and you're there thinking, oh my God, like how much longer, bro? And I'm just there, just like, just pumping out, thinking like, I just do not have this concept of hardship, of suffering, of pain. I just look at life as each day as a great blessing. And I'm always driven to give 100%. And I know it sounds crazy and people don't fully understand it. That is who I am. Like, so when people ask, like, how do I achieve? Like, there's a 30 kg vest right there. There's a 20 kg vest in my car. Like, I love this stuff. Like, literally, like, I love it. So it's not hard, And I did have a conversation with my group of students just this weekend. I said, look, the only thing I can give you guys as a guide, as guidance, as a mentor, is that I can't relate to you because I've never experienced that hardship. So when you say, oh, like I couldn't make it to training, I've never felt that. Like I've never felt that feeling of not wanting to do what I want to do. So I can't really give the guidance. But I said, the best thing I can give is just remember, now it wasn't quoting you, but I just said, remember the 10,000 hours. It's the Bruce Lee quote. Fear not the man who has done 10,000 kicks once, but the man who does one kick 10,000 times. And I just simply reminded them that, look, just have faith in the maths. So even when you don't want to train, even when you're not really feeling good and you don't want to come to my class on Saturday, or you don't want to get out of bed, and just do it anyway. Like I've never felt like that. I promise you, like I rarely use an alarm clock to wake up. I'm just up and ready. But if you are feeling that, and you know, this goes for people at home as well, if you are feeling that, you know, I don't know how to get rid of that feeling. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and say there's some breathing technique. I don't believe in that. But what I can tell you is that as long as you just push through and remind yourself that maths adds up. So simply, if you want to do the 10,000 hours, which we all should agree on is a concept that works, just crack on. You know, so maybe with your push-ups, maybe you're on 1,280. Well, guess what? You got a hell of a way to go. So just do your push-ups. Maybe it's a flexibility program. Maybe it's a kung fu form. Just crack on. Just crack on. But me personally, I'm yet to face that wall where I feel real struggle. You know, and that doesn't mean that I don't experience challenges. You know, I pushed 180 kg on the bench. That was not easy in that sense, but it also was fun. You know, maybe not if you film me in the moment, it looked crazy, but that was a sensation of achievement. It wasn't something that knocked me down. You know, I think it's the perspective of what struggle is.
That's what I was going to say. You know, what's interesting is we've interviewed maybe like 200 or 300 people now. And of those people, that like the most successful people, it was usually on the back of something really traumatic happening, you know, and for a lot of people that might happen in their 20s, their 30s, whatever. But then their perspective shifts and, you know, life is a blessing. They understand that. And it seems like you've experienced that from day one. You know, you've had that perspective forever.
Exactly. That's the only thing when I look back, because people ask me as well, like, what happened? Was it China? And to be honest, what got me to China in the first place? The magic, not me. It wasn't, nothing happened in China. But then before that, from, you know, just the way I was. So the only thing I can backtrack is all the way to that period. You know, and that's the only time that, funnily enough, I don't really have memory. Like I can't remember specific. I've had like I can call them nightmares. I told my mum about it. This was a long time ago, but I had like kind of flashbacks of violent scenarios where babies were involved. I mean, I imagine that to be me in that sense, you know, waking up to that. But I don't have any physical memories that I can actually say, oh yeah, I remember the location, I remember the colors, I remember this or that. So these are all things that just somewhere live inside me. And I believe that those are the things that have given me my ability, which I don't look as an ability, but obviously other people do. They're like, oh, you have this ability to keep pushing, and how did you do this? How did you? For me, it's just, well, I woke up and I go to the gym and I'm editing a video. There's nothing much more to it than just ABC to me. But when people look and they have that judgment and they say, oh, you're doing this, that's great. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you learn Chinese. Oh, you can do a finger handstand. Like when I start to look at how I'm being acknowledged, I start to realize that, hold on, where is this passion coming from? And that's the only thing that I can kind of boil it down to. You know?
No, makes sense.